I now request that we rise to observe a minute of silence in the honor and memory of the founding president. Thank you. May the soul of Dr. Sam Nujoma find comfort in the bosom of his Creator. I would like to inform you all, honorable members, that we will dedicate tomorrow's sitting to allow members of this House to reflect on the life and times of Dr. Sam Nujoma and to deliver your tributes to this great son of Namibia. I hope that will be in order. We'll manage that. We also want to organize the arrangement around the chamber to reflect the fact that we are paying a particular tribute to him. Now the administration is busy working on that, and I thought we could dedicate tomorrow to do that. I also want us to make sure that we manage the time. We don't want to restrict the tributes, but we want to allow you free to express yourselves. And I hope we can do that within a reasonable time. Obviously, we don't want to take half an hour, just one member. That will eat too much into the time that is usually available to everybody. Honorable members, I have been informed by the chairperson of the National Council that the Council, in terms of Article 75, subsection 2 of the Constitution, considered and confirmed the following bills without amendments. 1, Income Tax Amendment Bill B2 2024. 2, Value Added Tax Bill B11 2024. 3, Transfer of Duty Amendment Bill B10 2024. 4, Stamp Duty Amendment Bill B13 2024. 5, Divorce Bill B3 2024. 6, Civil Registration and Identification Bill B8 2024. 7, Health Professions Bill B4 2024. And 9, Regularization of Status of Certain Residents of Namibia, their Descendants and Foreign Spouses Bill B6 2024. And finally, Appropriation Amendment Bill B16 2024. In terms of Article 75, subsection 3 of the Namibian Constitution, these bills shall be referred to His Excellency, the President, to deal with them under Article 56 and 64 of the Namibian Constitution. I think we have covered all the announcement, and I'm now return to the agenda for today. Any petitions? Reports of standing select committees? I don't see any. Other reports and papers? Notices of questions? Notices of motions? Messages from the head of state, ministerial statements, So we are well covered in that respect. And I'm going to go straight to the subject matter before us. And the Secretary will read the first order of the day.
Public Gatherings and Public Processions Bill.
When this Assembly adjourned on Thursday, the 6th February 2025, the question before the Assembly was a motion by the Honourable Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration and Safety and Security, that the bill be read the second time. The Honourable Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration and Safety and Security replied on Thursday, the 6th of February 2025, and I now put the question that the bill be read second time. Any objections? Yes. Any objections? Okay. There is an objection. Yes, please.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, firstly, I do not know why this bill is still on the order paper. I would have thought that after our first intervention in terms of this public gatherings and public processions bill, that the bill was withdrawn for further consultations. I did consult the Table Office of Parliament in regards to why the bill was still on the order paper, because we were of the impression that it was indeed withdrawn by common consensus, and I'm shocked why it's still on the order paper. But be that as it may, Honourable Speaker, we really note our objection in this regard, because we are of the strong view that this particular bill, even if it's still on the order paper, should be withdrawn on the basis of constitutionality, that it goes against the tenets of Chapter 3 of the Constitution, that it will limit rights of public gatherings, and so forth. So, Honourable Speaker, we note our objection as the PDM to the Public Gatherings and Public Processions Bill, which is a very oppressive bill that has now been introduced by the South of government.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think the Honourable Member's comments are noted. At this stage, we take note of that. Then I think we need to proceed. Honourable Minister? Oh, please, order.
Honourable Speaker, the people who are making this hullabaloo, they were not in this chamber when I responded.
Yes.
Virtually,
Elaborate.
every concern was attended to.
Yes.
And the amendments were proposed.
Yeah.
Extensive ones.
Yes.
So as a result, Comrade Speaker, I beg the indulgence of the House so that I can have time to effectively enter those amendments, so that the honourable members can appreciate how I went to make sure that we meet each other halfway. So, Comrade Speaker, therefore I beg the indulgence of the House to adjourn this item, in the meantime to effect the amendments until next week, Wednesday.
Honourable Minister, I listened to you carefully the day when you outlined this particular aspect of the bill, and I was under the impression that when we go into committee level, that's where you're going to outline those suggestions, and the members will be able to appreciate. Those who were in the chamber that day, I'm sure they are looking forward to hearing more when you're going to deal with that.
Yes.
We are not yet there, but we'll get there.
Absolutely.
Is that, because otherwise it will disrupt the flow of the actual program. Can we do it that way?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So the second, yes, please.
Honourable Speaker, maybe I was not here that day, but is it listen.
Yes, please.
I just want to hear from what is wrong with you, Honourable opponent.
When you all over. When
please.
all of you are speaking at the same time,
He's saying
I can
it's
hardly
not me.
hear. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, it's your turn.
Yes, Honorable Mahone, listen to me. If it is true what Honorable Max is saying, that the bill was withdrawn from the... Yes. I just want to hear from the table office because he said he had an inquiry with them and they confirmed that indeed it was withdrawn from the House. I just need clarity on that part. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I just make it clear? The table office or the speaker or any of us here cannot be involved in withdrawing a particular bill. The bill can be withdrawn by the minister responsible for doing that. At this point in time now, we are advanced the issue that had been raised. The minister made it clear that during committee stage, there is going to be an opportunity to reflect on what changes they have introduced, and we'll be able to take it from there. So let's get to there. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Then it's agreed to for SAFA to get to the committee. The secretary will read the second. The secretary will read the bill the second time.
Public Gatherings and Public Processions Bill.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's move on. The secretary will read the second order of the day.
Roads Bill.
The
Committee stage.
Does the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Transport move that the Assembly now goes into committee? Thank you. It is moved that I leave the chair. Any objection? Who seconds? Agreed to. And I'll call on the chairperson of the whole House Committee to take the chair.
Yeah, the whole House Committee is called to order. The whole House Committee has to consider Roads Bill. I put arrangement of sections. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to? I put clause 1. dealing with definitions. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to? We are dealing with roads bill. I put close 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Any discussions? Any objection? Agree to. I put close 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Any discussions? Any objection? Agreed to. I put close 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 29, and 30. Any discussion? Yes, I recognize the Honorable Leader of PDM.
Honorable Chairperson of the Whole House Committee, Honorable Minister, I don't know. I had the issue on number 30.
Number 30?
Yeah,
Okay.
30. Page 26.
Yeah.
The people who don't even have the document in front of them are making noise. You must keep quiet, Makona. Senior citizen, I'm now one, you are already long time one. Act like one. Act like one.
Sorry, you have the floor, Honorable Leader.
Yes, page 26, number 34. I had a question and I did not agree with you. I don't know what was your answer on that one. The owner, lessee, or occupier of a commercial farm or occupier of communal land must maintain a fence erected in terms of subsection 2 either in accordance with regulations made under section 1. And I ask you, the regulations, because I want to make my comparisons regarding this regulation, because I had an issue with this issue. And I said I cannot approve it in the absence of your regulation. So what was your answer on this one, Honorable, before I say d'accord? Thank you.
Honorable Minister, it's page 26, clause 30, sub 4. Sub 4, yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and I thank the Honorable Member for the query. The response is as follows, and I'm trying to locate the section here. Under Part 14, General, on page 45, the Honorable Member is 100% correct to make reference to regulations. Now, under this particular section or clause that I've just referred, as soon as this bill is finalized here, the process of making the appropriate regulations, I must say, just already started, but it will then be speeded up to finalize the particular regulations that will assist in practically implementing the various provisions in this bill or in the law then when it becomes law. I so submit, and I would like to request the concurrence of the honorable members that we do that accordingly. Thank you.
Yeah. Again, Honorable Ndindo.
I saw a lot of bills that was passed in this house to become laws, but it cannot be implemented in the absence of the regulations. Yes. So because these bills are referring to regulations. So it means in the absence of these things, the Basic Education Act cannot be implemented because of the outstanding regulations. So this bill is very important because of the animals, the accidents and so on. So Honourable Minister, will this bill now have the same, go through the same challenge that it will not be implemented unless that regulations are being gazetted and approved? So otherwise I am feeling that we are lost so many of our time, spending so many of our time, these bills approved and then it cannot be implemented because of the absence of the regulations. So this is my concern, Honourable. Will it go the same route? I don't know whether you have seen that list of legal assistance centre where they were saying these bills cannot be implemented because of the regulations which are not yet there and passed. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. I can only repeat what I stated, that there are certain provisions, as the Honourable Member is saying, which provisions will be better implemented with the appropriate regulations in place. And I also stated that the process of making regulations is basically started, but it will be what is the word? It will be speeded up in terms of finalization. If it so happens that this particular clause or clauses in the bill cannot be implemented after passing without the regulations, then we'll handle it accordingly, at least those that will be responsible for taking the law. Because laws are not cast in stones, they are not rigid things. They regulate dynamic issues. So your understanding is as good as mine, that for sure regulations will have to be in place, and then the bill or the act now is passed by Parliament before it comes into practical implementation. I so move.
Okay. Then I put, I recognize.
Thank you very much, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honourable Minister, I don't want to be preemptive or prescriptive to the regulations that are going to be made as far as the fencing is going to be maintained by the farmers. But I want the Minister to please bear in mind that we last year had a case where communal farmers were guilty because their livestock were on the road and was bumped by a vehicle. And I think Honourable Smith brought in the case, and it was said that the owners of the livestock are the guilty ones. What I want to say here is, when making those regulations, please bear in mind that many of us are living in areas where the fences are being broken by elephants, which are specially protected animals by government. And that only does not concern communal areas. It also concerns commercial areas. So that has to please be brought into those regulations, because many a times our livestock are being bumped on the main roads and we are the guilty ones at the end of the day, while our fences are being broken by wildlife that is specially protected by government. I thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister, just a advice and comment.
I thank my honourable brother, almost say same name. It's just the difference. Mine is Muto Roi. This is Muro Roi. Welcome, my brother. In your intervention, you made two very important arguments. The first one is the issue of how do we take care of our animals, that they do not roam around freely on the roads or anywhere else. In my response, I did pay much attention to that. And I also made reference to, as you said, even in the commercial areas, sometimes these animals, these livestock are not just being taken care of. I did make a reference to what happened in December. I think it was after Christmas or after New Year. Here at Bragwater, there were accidents involving livestock roaming on the highway here. And the Deputy Commissioner of Police had to come on television just to urge all of us, particularly the livestock owners. So the issue of taking care of our livestock is absolutely important. With regard to the issue of now taking into consideration when making regulations what you have just raised, I think you are right too. And I can only give the assurance that the same manner in which bills are made and they go through various stages of consultations before they reach this chamber. That approach definitely will also be followed or is being followed when making regulations, so that the regulations that we eventually make must be of assistance in terms of implementation of the law itself. So I take notice of what you've said and I agree with you, and I hope that will be done accordingly. I so move.
Thank you. Now we proceed. I put clause 31. There's still discussions concerning clause number 30. I recognize Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance and Public Enterprise.
Thank you. Chairperson of the whole committee, I just wanted to ask on 30, subsection 8, that talks on page 27 on top. It talks about road authority and the owner, lessee or occupier of a commercial farm must contribute 50% of the cost of maintenance of the fence erected in terms of section 2. I just wanted to ask if there would be specific timelines. How would it affect the budgeting of road authority if anybody can randomly just stand up and say, I'm doing maintenance on my fence, I'm increasing my fence, all that expenses, and then road authority is expected to carry 50% of the cost, or as the minister implying that maybe the regulations will cover some more details so that there is no unexpected cost being imposed, because there's also not standard rates applied, and therefore anybody can go and erect a fence and expect government to pay, and it could be overcharged. So I just see that it has got a loophole that needs to be covered. So I just thought of highlighting it to the minister. Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. I must admit that maybe I did not catch the essence of the question. Honourable Deputy Minister, are you referring to
Is it sub?
clause 30?
Sub 8. Sub 8.
Oh, the roads authority and the owner, lessee or occupier of commercial farm must contribute 50% of the cost of the maintenance of a fence erected in terms of subsection 2. Then the question is what? the cost.
May not have to be determined, and the rates should be some standard, but I think Minister could cover that in the regulation.
Yeah. Now, when you read section 32, it refers to trunk, main or district roads. And it is important to look at the definitions, for example, of a trunk road, and also the reserve, what is called the reserve, whether it is in commercial area or in communal area. The reserve is state land, 30 meters from here to there and another 30 meters from here to there. Now, the word may is also used in that subsection 32. Now, in as far as now the cost and the what, how much, those are things that need to be now also highlighted and clarified in the regulations. But I would like to believe it will not be a absorbed and high cost. That's what I can say at this stage.
Any discussions on clause 30? Honorable Muroro?
Again, Honorable Minister, as I said, don't want to be prescriptive, but I think you mentioned the issue of Breakwater. I think the Breakwater issue needs special attention because Breakwater is a municipal area, to my understanding. It's part of Windhoek. And my understanding is that the municipality has to impound the animals. So the regulations have to be clear that the municipality has to take up also its responsibility and not only Roads Authority. And that is where the loophole is, because each and every time the municipality is very quiet and it's just the Roads Authority and the owner of the animals that are at loggerheads with one another, while the municipality hasn't done its work. I thank you, Honourable Minister. I just wanted to remind you.
Thank you very much for the reminder. The argument that we are making here is, yes, it is the responsibility in this particular case of the municipality to impound, but we must be proactive so that even the impounding should not take place. Meaning, we must miss our animals as the owners. If they went through a fence, repair that fence. That's the bottom line. But I don't disagree with you. But let us not wait until something has happened and then react. So you are right there. Impounding, it is their responsibility. But it's also my responsibility as the owner to check and see, are all my animals here? And if they are not here, they are on the road, what happened? Is it the fence broken? It's the only thing that we are emphasizing. And I think we're on the same wavelength as far as this matter is concerned. Thank you.
Are there more discussions on clause 30? I recognize Rada.
Honourable Minister, I was wondering, why exactly don't the regulations accompany the document when they are tabled so that you can have a more overview, informed perspective as to what you're contributing to? Now you have the regulations missing, and then they are somehow going to be tabled at a different spacing, and we don't know what we approved of or towards because we don't have the information with us. So now the bill was approved, but then the regulations come later, possibly contradict what I would have, agreed on had I had the information I needed. They should come here. Why are they not coming here?
Yeah. My honorable colleague, don't be angry. I like your smile. No, first it is standard really. If you look at various laws that we have on the statute books, the first process is pass the law here, and then the regulations are made. I'm telling you now what is happening. You don't need to argue. I'm telling you now. There are certain laws, if you go and check, there are certain laws really that must come and pass with the regulations, but this is not one of them. And that is a lecture for you to understand how things are done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I put clause, then agree to, I put clause 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 35. Any discussion? I recognize Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance and Public Enterprise.
Part 4 that talks about water levels and storm water. I just foresee a situation. We know that building of roads cause storm water issues and properties end up underwater. This provision, should we get guarantee that we are not putting road authority under threat that they may be sued if properties end up underwater because of the construction of a road? Because in this provision, is there not an exemption clause or something to protect the organization? Because I foresee that if we are saying they must make provision for storm water properly and giving them some directives in the event that that is not done properly and I lose all my assets and properties end up underwater, would it not open up road authority for legal damage claims? I see the absence there of, I don't know how it can be protected, but I think it is a risk I identify. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, any comment on what?
Yes. I did take note of what the Deputy Minister is saying. Suffice for me to say that I'm not an expert in road construction, but the 7 years that I've been there, I know how it is done. Before the actual road is constructed, the engineers will do their feasibility studies and what have you to determine, inter alia also, where the drainage and what have you will be. And therefore what is being said here, once the road is constructed in accordance with all those engineering prescriptions and so on, I, John Mutorwa, cannot wake up and say, but me, I'm trying to put something here where the water can go through, because it can be dangerous. And we are seeing it. It can be dangerous when the water comes, everything is swept away. So, really, my honorable colleague, that is what is meant here.
Okay.
Examples of what happened in Rundu, we had situations, Shakati, we had situations of storm water not having been made proper way for, and therefore flooding occurred. So all I'm saying is, when the law would make it compulsory on road authority to make that provision, and if it doesn't make that, or we have a flooding situation and people lose property, will it not be exposed to legal claims? I know because we had situations like that, but I think we didn't have an act that makes it obligatory to road authority. Now, if it's obligatory on them and there is an accident or such a situation, and we know the insurances don't cover that, will it not open up for legal?
It is Tuesday, the 11th of February 2025. Good afternoon, Namibia. The time is exactly 29 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Good afternoon, Namibia and beyond, and a very warm welcome to the Government Information Center. For this afternoon, I will be your host, Helene Philippa Samunyela, and I am joined in the studio by the Deputy Minister of ICT, Honorable Modestus Amte, and he's here to brief the Namibian nation on the daily briefings of the funeral arrangements of the late His Excellency Dr. Sam Safishuna Nujoma. Honorable Deputy Minister, good afternoon and welcome to the Government Information Center. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, Namibia. I have a public announcement to make regarding the arrangement during this time of mourning, as we are mourning the departure of our founding president and father of the Namibian nation, His Excellency Dr. Sam Safishuna Nujoma. A reference is made to our previous announcement regarding public gatherings and celebrations. Following the decision of Cabinet and further public inquiries, the following guidelines are now applicable. 1. State events of a commemorative or celebratory nature are suspended. 2. Sports events are allowed in limited instances for preparatory purposes and without spectators. Sporting codes that are traveling outside Namibia are not affected by the directive. 3. Scheduled school athletics will proceed, guided by the necessary decorum of national mourning. 4. Private events, while not prohibited, especially if pre-planned, the public is encouraged to adhere to the decorum that is consistent with the mourning period. Furthermore, the public is hereby advised that the official memorial services will start today at 1800 hour at his residence. Visitors are allowed from 1400 hours to 1600 hours, and the contact people are Desmond Amnyela at 0811 249 863, Shafa Nujoma at 081 4773 189, Comrade Kashindi Usiku at 0815 733 868. Other logistical arrangements will be announced in due course. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister, for that critical information. Indeed, it is very critical for us as a nation to observe such. Now, at this juncture, I would like to call on the media practitioners or journalists in the House who have questions for the Honorable Deputy Minister to briefly step closer to the podium, briefly introduce yourself and the media house you represent, and briefly put your questions to the Honorable Deputy Minister. All right.
Good afternoon, DM. My name is Shaligan Peterson. I'm from the Namibian newspaper and Desert Radio. There are a couple of questions we have. Number one, what law informs the national period of mourning? According to our knowledge is that you are working with the National Services Act. But even the National Services Act does not stipulate what exactly a mourning period is. Number two, in your statement you released yesterday, you said, cautioned Namibians against events or gatherings that are deemed as disrespectful. What exactly, can you just define what you mean by gatherings deemed as disrespectful? Yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. These are good questions indeed, because by responding to them will shed more light to the general public, and information is needed for the public to have the correct information and behave in a manner that prescribed best to the condition we found ourselves today. The first question regarding the authority that command our actions as government to ask for the nation to mourn the person of this caliber in a style that we are commanding, which is to do it in a respectful manner, not to engage in activities that are otherwise might be deemed as not giving the necessary honor that we believe the founding president deserved, does not need regulation. It needs our able thinking that if we are mourning a person that we so respect, and surely the Namibian people respect and have been respecting the founding president, the best way to do it is to do it in a style that best ascribed to that. And the best style that ascribed to that, in our opinion, is that of showing respect by not probably parting, is one of the examples. Because the statement I made yesterday also talk about entertainment or commemorative events. In fact, we use the word in a style of celebration. So when we are mourning, we don't celebrate at the same time. So that is definitely the understanding that we want to send out to the public. Indeed, we are dealing with a public, a knowledgeable public, a public that is understandable, and we believe the public will be in the best position also to determine what celebrative activities may be. And those are the activities we are saying we are urging the nation to restrain from. And that's the reason why we are also not quoting any law, because we are talking to our people, the Namibian people, that this is the condition we found ourselves in, and that is the best we can honor the departure of our leader. That's to do with the first question. The second question is to define a large gathering, I guess, if I still remember the question very well. Of course, again, that is for us to use our understanding and interpretation of what could constitute a large gathering. And again, it was attached to the condition of entertainment or celebrative activity. So because the word celebration was constantly used, so that we can create the best understanding of what we mean with a large gathering. Large gathering, for instance, the churches are not included in that restriction, because we know people still have to go to church. We know that people have to go to school. They have to go to work. Those activities are not restricted. There are also certain activities like a presentation indoor somewhere at a certain office, because this was a planned activity probably even, or is just planned for the purpose of the continuation of service delivery. These are activities that we are saying should continue. So And then you find activities like trading. These are also activities that we say should continue, because trading, in our view, cannot be associated with celebrations. So, and definitely trading is, in a way, is also to solve a need in a way, maybe because it's a shopping complex and people will still have needs, they will still go there to buy their things. So these are in our view and focus the activities that are to continue. Also with regard to school activities, I have learned that some schools have suspended their indoor or in-yard or in-house sporting activities, and that's why we are also making this clarity today to say no, these are not the activities we are referring to, because in our view these are part of our education programs, and therefore they should be allowed to continue just like sporting activities. For instance, for the preparation of participating in an international event, we must allow these people to exercise so that they can go and represent us as fit as they ought to be. I don't know whether I have answered your question to your satisfaction, but that is definitely what we meant by that.
But Deputy Minister Shaligan, you have some more to add?
Yes, I have follow-up questions. Simply because common knowledge is not that common, as we learned during COVID. Can you maybe define what is the quorum of national mourning? And I am emphasizing on this point simply because we had a lot of comments and calls as a result of people not really gauging the understanding of what is meant by period of national mourning. And number two, there's a lot of criticism towards government's decision to suspend sporting events, with some saying that at the end of the day, President Nyoma loved sports and kept fit all the time, as you just mentioned, keeping fit. And he would not have agreed with sporting events being suspended. Perhaps you can just give a comment on that last part where Namibians are saying that founding president would not have agreed to sports events being cancelled. Thank you.
Thank you very much. National decorum refers to a time when people have to behave in a certain way. And this way would be a way that ascribe to mourning. When people are probably mourning, they behave in a certain way. One would not believe that even in a normal style of living, when we have people that we are mourning, our friends, our relatives, we mourn in a style that can distinctively be separated from activities of celebration. So that is the decorum we are referring to, saying at the moment the nation is mourning the departure of our founding president. And we should then adhere to a condition that any person would agree with, that it's ascribing to the situation in which we found ourselves. So that is definitely what we are referring to, and we expect our people to make their own contribution, a contribution of understanding at least. Government is not to suppress the rights of anybody or the freedom of anybody. We are simply saying as a nation, how can we live together, mourn together in a style that sanction an environment in which we found ourselves. So sporting activities, again, I have explained, I explained schooling activities that are attached to sporting, because schools normally this time have sporting programs, and we said those ones should continue. Again, we said there are people who are preparing for certain activities, sporting activities outside the country. We said they can continue. But the environment which we do not want to encourage, and again I use the word encourage, is the situation where we have spectators, clapping hands and doing all kinds of things that otherwise would be interpreted by others as not properly ascribing to an environment where we are mourning. So that is actually what we are communicating.
Shaligan, are you satisfied? One last? Yes. Okay, briefly.
DM, we are getting questions on our social media platform as well. What will be the consequences if, let's say, we have an event continue, let's say something as big as Kasi Vibe, which is popular among the youth? What if an event like that continues despite government urging people not to do it?
Consequences thereof.
Thank you very much. The question is clear and is very, very important. Look, we are Namibians, and if we are mourning the departure of our founding president, we are not doing it for anybody else. So my belief is that we will all understand the situation and adhere to the conditions in which we found ourselves and respect that. So, of course, in any event, you will find people who will behave otherwise, but it's not what we will encourage. That's the best I can say. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you. In absence of any more questions from the House, I believe everything that has been said here this afternoon is clear. I'd like to thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister, for making time this afternoon to come and update the Namibian nation on the daily briefings of the funeral of the late His Excellency Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, the founding president of the Namibian Republic. Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Minister.
I thank you very much, and I thank the people of Namibia. We will continue to update the nation from time to time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Well, Namibia, that is all the time we had for this afternoon's briefing. Please do join us again next time. Be on the outlook on our social media pages. We will make daily updates, and the official briefings will be done here at the Government Information Center. For myself, Hileni Felapa-Samunyela, and the entire GIC production crew, until next time, take care.